Welcome to PEGTV, Channel 15, Public Access Sports, Munger Vision, and American Legion Baseball action for you from St. Peter's Field on a beautiful summer day. A little breezy, nice cool breeze. The humidity not too bad at all, and you got a big matchup, a doubleheader, and this is game one. Rutland will be the away team in the first game because this is a makeup game with Chester Post 67, and it was supposed to take place down in Chester, but that got rained out. So they've just coupled up the two games, and Chester will host the first game in the books. It means they get last at bat, and then we'll go back to normal in the second game, and Rutland will be the host. And these two teams right here are 1 and 2 in the standings, and it's very close. And what a weekend Rutland's got for baseball on Post 31. A doubleheader today with Chester, and then tomorrow, Sunday. I know I'm tape delayed, but I'm just trying to bring you up to paint the picture here. And that's going to be hit down to second base. It'll be scooped up, and they'll toss to first and get Matt Sharon by just a little bit there as they kind of floated the throw in as it came down to Dylan Davis, and he's just able to nip Sharon. Then tomorrow, Rutland will have a doubleheader on the road with Brattleboro. And if you do the math out, which I did a couple times here, Rutland gets a, if they, worst case scenario, they get a split this weekend. They split with 2 wins, 4 losses, or 2 wins, 2 losses, I'm sorry. They split the 4 games. They just about tied themselves up a playoff spot for the Southern Vermont tournament. Of course, best case scenario, they go through and sweep, and that just about locks up the #1 seed, which over the years, you've seen that always isn't what it's hyped up to be. #1 seeds have a lot of problem in the Southern Vermont tournaments over the years. I didn't tell you, on the mound at number 5, you're looking at him right now, for Chester is Greg Vandenberg. So Vandenberg, with 1 out, nobody on, and a 1-1 count, to Jeff McLaughlin, who's been moved up to the #2 spot. Rob Dorian, not here today. He's out, got some real intense baseball camps he's attending right now, and got some big plans for Mr. Dorian. He's a good time. He loves baseball. That's his big thing, and he's at some camps and instructional leagues, and he's doing some stuff that preps you for big time college and maybe beyond that. So he's not here today. He's got a good excuse, so he doesn't need a note when he comes back. That's going to be foul. So they moved Matt Sharon up, as you already saw, to the #1 spot in the order. Now they put McLaughlin in the #2 spot. #3 spot will go to Chris Parker, and they'll keep, of course, Carter. Ryan Carter will bat in that #4 spot. And again, PEGTV website is www.pegtv.com. That curveball has been a, even though we're only in the second batter, and Vandenberg has been throwing that pretty much exclusively, and he's got a 2-2 count. And I'll do the positions for Chester in just a second. I will tell you, Chris Chico is the catcher. Very familiar name if you follow high school and Legion ball. He's seems like he's been catching for Post 67 for 7 years. And boy, I tell you what, that was a great 2-strike pitch and a great 2-strike swing by McLaughlin. As he able to fall it off and stay alive. You got Tom Gurr over at first base. Dylan Davis is at second. Dave O'Neill is at shortstop. Ken Cook is at third base. Ian Rebin is your left fielder. Kevin Hill's in center, and Kyle Ellers is your right fielder. And Chester with the dark blue uniforms on with the gray pants and the white lettering. Rutland at the plate right now on the top of the first, scheduled for 7. McLaughlin, always a fun guy to talk to. I think he's going to earn himself a base hit. He will. After all that, of following off all those good pitches, he'll get a base hit. And that's just a good player right there. That's a good job of hitting. But no, he's always McLaughlin in the dugout. Always cracks me up. He's a fun guy. And he's catalyst right now on one of the leaders in his final year of Legion ball, and he keeps the dugout loose, but also keeps them very focused as what they've got to do on the field. Now Parker up. Speaking of leaders, he's another leader, another guy in his last year of Legion ball. He came in high. It was a fastball, and he came in a little tight, a little high. Really wasn't a bad pitch, just called a ball. And it's a swirling wind. Right now it would be considered a hitter's breeze blowing out, but it's been swirling in the pregame warm-up, so it's just a matter of what it's doing when you're at the plate. It's whether it's going to help you or hurt you. It is a sunny day, and that will be a problem, especially in the second game when the sun starts to go to the west and to go to the horizon. For the left fielder here, who'll have to look right into that sun. Good pitch, called strike. And again, that Legion schedule, you can get it right out of the Rutland Herald. You can also just call the Legion up on Washington Street, and I know the radio guys give it to you too when they're going to be playing, but that's a little number foul. Yeah, it's going to die in the foul territory. Had to make sure I didn't have any English on it and come back into the field of play. And Parker will just go back and pick up the bat. McLaughlin will go back down to first base. McLaughlin, like all these post 31 players, Coach Tony Sorelli keeps that base runner real aggressive. And they are holding McLaughlin on. It's Gurr over there, or the first baseman. He'll hold him on defensively. And right now, about a 4-step lead off the bag for McLaughlin. That throw down, nice scoop out of the dirt by Gurr on a throw down from Chico. And again, there is the mercy rule. Not that I expect it to come into play, but being a 7-inning game, the team that's trailing has to at least get 5 at-bats. Pickle play, and oh, what a good job. You don't see that enough. He's going to get up. McLaughlin heading to third base. He's going to be there standing up. So there's that aggressive base running I was just talking about coming into play, putting a man in scoring position with 1 down in a full count. Now, whether that was by design that he was caught off the bag, just make what we just saw happen, create havoc and chaos, or whether he legitimately was in a pick-off mode, a pickle play. But you just don't see enough players. Once the pitcher makes the move to first, you should just explode down to the bag at second, not stop. And that's just what McLaughlin did, and it paid off. He's at third base, and Chris Parker now with a chance to drive in the game's run. We're in the top of the first. We're scoreless, obviously, if we're looking for the game's first run. And that hit Parker, and that was a curveball that had a lot of curve on it, but it curved into Parker, the right-handed hitter. Now put runners at first and third, my most favorite situation, because I think you should keep that aggressive base running going and send that runner from first to second, and then if they throw the ball around again, release the guy from third to home and just make it crazy out there. Now Parker's at first. This is Carter, Ryan Carter up. Oh yeah, a lot of lightning in that bat for Carter. And Rutland having to this point, what looks like it could be a big inning for him in the first inning. And when you get quality teams together like Chester and Rutland, I mean, it's very important to get those first runs. 7 innings, so much is going to happen, and the story will change several times throughout the game. And Carter with a good eye will lay off that pitch, and he'll come in high for ball 2. 2-0 to Carter with Zach Aquistapes, the winning pitcher yesterday in a road game at Bellows Falls. He's the DH today. He's hitting for Johnny Holtman. And the same thing. So they want to throw down to second. And there goes the runner home. See in the background, the runner scored after all that. The runner safe at second, Parker. And that's a tough. When you're in the field, that's a quick decision you got to make. Whether you're going to pursue the man at second, or if you're just going to eat the ball and make sure the guy at third base stays sealed. So runner down at second base, 1-0 Rutland in the top of the first, and they've been pretty slick in manufacturing the run. McLaughlin got the base hit, stole second. Well, they were trying to pick him off, and he ended up at second. They threw the ball away. He ended up at third base, and then right there, the same play, they sent Parker from first to second with McLaughlin at third. And then when they pursued Parker going to second, McLaughlin went home. Carter will look at that come in, and that pitch was right there at the belt for a strike. And today, I didn't even mention Rutland's pitcher when they get out there in the bottom of the first will be Chad Ryan. And that will be ball 4, and it's sailed high and away from Carter. So we've had a base hit, we've had a hit batter, and we've had a walk here for Greg Vredenberg. Now Quistapes coming up, and as he hits some monster shots out of not only this ballpark but other parks on the road, but he carries a big piece of lumber down there. Actually, they're metal bats. Nowadays, it's not like we were kids. He carries a big piece of aluminum. See, that doesn't sound as intimidating as he carries a big piece of lumber, but you got to go with the times, I guess. And again, there is a 1 out, 1 run in, and that was a ball, so it's obviously ball 1. And that lineup is just tough all the way through it. I mean, you get to the middle, and you got Carter and Aquistapes, and that's a hard shot. Got to be knocked down. There's 1, and he'll hold it, and he'll still make the attempt to throw. So Dylan Davis able to snag that from going up the middle, and literally brought him right to the bag. Now Chad Ryan up with 2 down. And I'm just trying to keep track of all the bases out there. Yeah, okay. Okay, so now the pitch from the stretch from Vredenberg will be strike called. But I was waiting because I thought it was a strike, but I just wanted to make sure. And on deck is probably one of the hottest hitters in the league, Garrett Brewer. He started the season off okay. Then he went into, by his own admission, quite a slump. And they're going to not throw down to second base this time. You can see Quistapase with the slide, and he'll be safe. So Chester, with runners at first and second, Chester trying to get that third out and keep it at just 1-0 right now. I tell you, if they get out of this mess with just the 1 run, they've done a very good job. Chad Ryan with that little jackknife back there, so he won't get hit by the pitch. No, but then Brewer, like you said, he was probably in a 3, 4, 5 game slump. And man, when he broke out, he's just been hitting gangbusters ever since. He's, like I said, probably the hottest hitter in the league right now. And Vredenberg will go back to the full windup now with runners at second and third, and trying to snap off the curveball, and it just didn't really have any, had fluff on it. And it'll be a 2-ball, 2-strike count. And again, I'm not announcing the game backwards. Rutland is the visiting team in this first game. And that's going to be the shortstop, Dave O'Neill. Oh, he's smooth. The throw, he's got him. That's the inning, and it'll be 1-0 Rutland at the end of the half inning of play from St. Peter's Field. That's Chad Ryan looking at. He'll be the starting pitcher, the right-hander, and he'll have Ryan Carter behind the plate. Garrett Brewer will be down at first base defensively. Chris Parker's at second. Matt Sharon's at short. Third base, of course, is Mr. Jeff McLaughlin. John Oltman in right field. Center field today's Gary Pelkey, and Jeff Perry will be the left fielder. And leading off for Chester will be Dave O'Neill. Very good man to have in that leadoff spot. Handles the bat well. He's got a lot of speed, and he'll make that defense think. Just you saw him kind of slide his hands up the barrel of the bat like he was sinking bunt. But he's got deceptive power. He's a good gap hitter, a good doubles guy. He usually always makes contact with the ball. You look at that one, sail above the head high for 2-ball, no-strike count. Rutland picking up just that 1 run in the top of the first, and they come here in the bottom of the first with that 1-0 lead. McLaughlin in on the grass at third base. And just missed inside. So O'Neill doing what he does very well, making the pitcher work. It's a 3-ball, no-strike count to Dave O'Neill of Chester Post 67. He played his high school ball at Black River, and there's one down the old pipe for strike 1. I'd like to take this opportunity to thank Rutland Post 31 for allowing me to videotape their games and present them on PEGTV. Like I always tell you, I know just from the feedback, there's ball 4. The community really gets behind this team, but as far as watching the games that way and supporting them, I mean, they really appreciate the fact that Post 31 lets this go on PEGTV. So there you go, leadoff batter on via the walk. Ken Cook up with Vredenberg, the pitcher, on deck, and O'Neill will do just like what we saw with Rutland base runners. He will put a lot of pressure on the pitcher to keep him close to first base, the catcher to throw it down, and makes the defense shift around to cover second base and creates holes to hit through. That's a ball. Chad Ryan, just last time we saw Chad pitch now, and boy, I'll tell you, he is just missing. That's another ball. He had he won the game. I just can't remember which team it was because I do every game after a while. I'm just getting old. They all seem a blur afterwards. But he had a rough first inning and then was just dominant the rest of the evening. Now, I want to say it was Hartford actually, but don't quote me. So there's a strike on a foul ball. Makes it 2 balls, 1 strike. And like I've been telling you, you gotta watch Sports Speed. Started in November '95 with it, and now we're 2007. Still going. If it was real TV, they would have canceled me, but since it's volunteer and community, they just can't get rid of me. But it's on Mondays at 4:30, Tuesdays at 5:30, and Thursday nights at 9. And he'll get the high strike call there. That was above the belt, but down the middle of the plate, and 2-2 the count now. McLaughlin's dropped back off the grass, even with the bag now down at third base. And that'll be fisted foul as O'Neill was off and running on the pitch. Let's go back to first base. Had a very healthy jump. And Garrett Brewer, 26 over there, the first baseman for Rutland Post 31, was holding him on. Tony Sorelli, the head coach, Jeff Brewer, and George Bennett, the assistant. Ron Fairbanks is the general manager, and that is popped up. And I just got to figure out who's got it. Isn't that awful? I can't find the ball myself. Okay, what happened was Parker did it. He caught it. You didn't see it. That's totally my incompetence. But I lost it in the sun. Yeah. Now Vredenberg up with one down, one on. O'Neill had to obviously go back to first base. Nope, I haven't done that in years because I videotape with my right eye in a viewfinder and my left eye open. Not that anybody really asked me, but I just completely lost the pop-up in the sky, in the clouds, in the sun. Oh, it's a good thing I wasn't playing. And that will get the runner down to second base. There's O'Neill. So he'll end up at second base now on that wild pitch. It didn't get that far away from Carter. He just couldn't locate it. So Vredenberg now the runner in scoring position, one down, and Ryan from the stretch. Chad Ryan going to have time called. Now, could be a lot of things they're talking about. Could be signs, could be a missed signal, could be they're going to change signs with O'Neill down there at second base. Now Dave's father, of course, is the Black River coach, Jim O'Neill, and like I said, he's like the Tony La Russa of high school coaches. He's just outstanding baseball knowledge, and he's passed that on genetically to his son. So don't think Dave won't look in there and see location and signs and know what's going on. So there's a strike called. Plus I had to fill up airspace. That's where I came up with that whole spiel off the top of my head. So it goes 2 balls, 1 strike. And 1-0 Rutland, and that's a solid shot. That's going to drop, that's going to roll, that's going to score the run, tie the game up. O'Neill will easily come in. The play's going to be at second base, and just there. You see Sharon fly the tag just late as Vredenberg will tie the game up with an RBI double. And now Chris Chico coming up with a chance to give Chester Post 67 the lead. So the walk followed by the double, because you missed the pop-up because I didn't tape it. I missed it. I taped Garrett Brewer at first base, watching him catch it. I thought that'd be better for you. Oh. So it's all ones across the scoreboard here at St. Peter's Field. It's 1-1 in the first inning, and there's strike 1 called. There's 1 out. And the ball dropped on a throwback. Now get set. And that's a live ball. People don't realize everybody starts panicking around. That's a live ball. Chico with Ian Rubin on deck. As Chester has responded here in the bottom half of the first with a run, and they're not done yet. He said Vredenberg down there at second base. That was a good hit he had. Nice solid gapper. And Chad Ryan not really letting his arm free and letting it fly. He's kind of aiming the ball right now. He's got to get a little lubricated, get a little looser, and just let the arm flow. And that's going to be popped out play. I've understood for years the pitcher is the lower torso, the leg drive, and the strong lower back, the lumbar reach. And I understand all that, but the result of all that strength thrusting forward is that the arm whips free on the aftershock. And when a pitcher pitches tight, that just means he's shortening his arm. That's going to be to Sharon. He'll go, and they're going to no. Yeah, they wanted to tag the runner out. That was a tag play, not a force out. And the throw was high. McLaughlin was trying to come down with the ball a little bit quick. And the only thing I question, I don't really question it, is with 1 out, I would have gone and got the shore out at first base. That would have been 2 outs and a runner at third then. Now you've got first and third and 1 out. And it's easy for me to make a decision standing behind an old camcorder than it is out there in the field of play. You're in it. You got to make that split-second decision. Now 9 out of 10 times they would convert that play into an out. Oh, that was a great pitch. See, he was loose and everything just flew all on him and just looked like a landslide, and it was a strike, and it was a good location, good velocity on that pitch. But you can tell when he's going to throw the curveball just by his body language. Is tense. That was a great splitter right there. And you'll get the swinging strike, and the runner will take second base uncontested. Not a stolen base in the books because there's no throw on it. But second and third now. But more importantly, it's an 0-2 count on Ian Rubin. There's Chester and Rutland having a long first inning. Oh, great pitch. Watched it go by. Strike 3, and I know as a coach, I'd rather see my guy swing and miss 10 times and have him watch one with an 0-2 count. You got to protect the plate, and that one was just served up right down the middle. First strikeout of the game for Chad Ryan, second out of the inning. And now Kevin Hill, the center fielder, up. And that, again, good mechanics everywhere on that pitch. Strike 1. Fastball. He started him off with a fastball this time. The outfield playing, well, actually a little bit deep. Oh, see, once he got the fastball going now he can work off the plate with the breaking stuff like that, and he's got an 0-2 count. So Chad Ryan trying to keep this thing tied up at 1 strand, 2 runners on, and head into the second inning in a tie game. Yeah, it'll be interesting to see what he comes back with now, because it's still it counts in his favor as a pitcher with 1 ball, 2 strikes. Me personally, bring in the elevated fastball. We'll see what he does here, though. Or that works. He'll strike him out with the fastball. The last 2 outs coming on strikeouts, and we'll have a 1-1 game at the end of 1. To go to the top of the second, Garrett Brewer will be the leadoff batter. Then Gary Pelkey and Jeff Perry. There's Vredenberg, number 5, the big lefty out there, all set to kick and fire, and he'll start him off with an obvious ball 1. Looks like he's trying to throw the breaking ball, and not with good results. Each team scoring 1 run in the situations where they could have actually had a couple runs, just couldn't get the key hit. That's off the end of the bat and foul. And that'll even things now out. 1 ball, 1 strike. Again, you're at St. Peter's Field watching American Legion Post 31 baseball action on PEGTV Channel 15. Munger Vision bringing you this video production. Right idea. He just brought it off the plate a tad bit too much and had him fooled, actually, if he could have just slid that thing over about 1.5 inches. So 2 balls and 1 strike. Brewer, Pelkey, Perry, then top of the order, Matt Sharon. As Matt Sharon will get the leadoff duties in the absence of Robbie Dorian. Oh, boy, I just missed. Oh, he called it a strike. That was a very late call, but I really thought it was also. But it'll be a 2-2 count now. Well, Vredenberg still in control of the count at 2-2, so he wants to throw here. Went to the breaking ball again, and that was a good job of staying alive. See that? He didn't want you to go by him. He knew he had 2 strikes, and he just got enough of it to foul it off and stay alive here. That's Rutland in the top of the second. Yeah, they're the away team in the first game. In case you missed the beginning of the game, this is they clubbed them together, a doubleheader. There was a game supposed to be played in Chester. They got rained out, and it's a ball outside. Good eye by Brewer. 3-2. Full count now. So in order to make up that rained out game, they just made a doubleheader today because there was an original game scheduled today for 9 innings for Rutland. And they'll just have 2 7-inning games, and each team will get to host one, which means they get the last at-bats today. Oh, good pitch. I like the fact he just challenged him with the fastball, and he gets Brewer. A big out right there to get Brewer, and that's the first strikeout for Vredenberg. And now Gary Pelkey, the center fielder, up. Now Pelkey's been hitting the ball very well all season long, right from this first chance, right through the last chance. He's also got good speed, which helps him increase a lot of those close plays on infield singles. He'll get them, he'll be able to leg them out, but he's been slapping the ball well, and that'll be outside for a ball. He's the starting center fielder today in game number 1. Again, there are 2 games coming up, and the second game will be seen at a later date on channel 15. And again, you can inquire as to when that will be on by just watching this scroll on the bottom of the bulletin board screen, going to the website at PEGTV.com and looking at the schedule. The TV Guide channel, channel 8, that shows you all what's playing on all the networks. We're on that. Channel 15's on that. You can see what's on. Oh, good pitch. Came back with, he likes that curveball, Vredenberg does. He's actually using the curveball to set up his fastball here, and he's kind of having a little bit of a great success. Actually, not a little bit of success. He had good success as he has 2 strikeouts, both coming here in this second inning. 2 down, and Jeff Perry now. Now, you look at this Rutland lineup, like I talked about, it's just really not a weak link anywhere in it. And when you can put a player of Perry's caliber in a number 9 spot, or if Holtman wasn't being DH for it in a number 9 spot, you've got a very potent lineup. You've got some contact hitters, you've got some speed hitters, you've got some power hitters. That's just really a good balance on this team as they head into the grinding schedule going toward the end of the season, and that's going to be foul out of play. Oh, see what happened? The wind brought that back on him. I widened the shot out because I didn't want to blow it again, but yeah, all that happened there was he was trying to compensate for the wind and it blew back on him, and it'll just be a foul ball strike. Now, this is where teams will make or break and make the playoffs, is down this stretch right here. And this is an important doubleheader today for both these teams. This is tomorrow's doubleheader down in Brattleboro for Rutland and Brattleboro big. Can I say if Rutland can imagine? Oh, I think you're going to say he went. He did go, yeah. Good call by the umpire. Now, if Rutland can manage, a worst case scenario, a split of the 4 games, they've just about locked themselves up in my math with a berth in the Southern Vermont tournament here at St. Peter's Field. And look at that play by O'Neill. Can he get him? He's got the arm. Got him. Oh, Dave O'Neill with a great play. First the stop and then the quickness to get up and make the throw. And that's going to be a great defensive play by O'Neill. We're tied at 1. So Chad Ryan will face Dylan Davis here in the bottom of the second of a tie ball game. And there's a strike. Now, Chad Ryan really seemed to settle down towards the end of that first inning, had a back-to-back strikeouts, and then his counterpart Brandenburg came out and pitched a much stronger, much better top of the second. As McLaughlin, he'll throw to first and get the out, so they'll retire the leadoff batter on that 5-3 ground out. As we're at the number 7, 8, and 9 hitter now. Actually, they said that was Dylan Davis. I had that down as Tom Gura. So in their book, they've got the names reversed for me. They're the official book. So this is Gura now. And the last person made the out was Davis. So I'll have to change that in my book. And that's going to be a strike called. I had to wait and make sure. So 1 down, nobody on for Chester, post 67. And again, Chad Ryan, when he's in sync here, he just likes to catch and fire. And boy, he's looking like he's got command now of everything working for him. You can see the batter right there might want to disrupt his rhythm a little bit. He stepped out, took some time, and Ryan will kick fire and got him. 3 strikeouts now for Chad Ryan. All 3 of the last 4 batters he's faced, he has struck out. Kyle Ellers now, the right fielder, up. So 2 out very quickly here in the bottom of the second as he's trying to emulate his counterpart effort with the 1-2-3 top of the second. He's trying to have a 1-2-3 bottom of the second. And I think they're going to say he went. Let's see if they appeal it. Strike, yeah, great call. Good job by the appeal and a good call by the umpire down the first baseline, and that'll be strike 1. Chad Ryan, unfortunately, well, not unfortunately, him and Zach Aquistapace toward the end of the season will be heading to the Shrine football game to represent Vermont. So they'll lose some very, very good talented players that will go play football. But again, this is a pretty deep team. Barring injuries, you know, it's big time. And all quick to pitch right there, outside corner at the knee, called a strike. 1 ball, 2 strikes. To the number 9 hitter, Ellers. O'Neill on deck. He's the top of the order. If they can extend the inning, 1 batter here. And boy, he tried to hit that outside corner again, and this time he's just a little bit too far outside. Now leaving the count out at 2 balls, 2 strikes. See, he's already caught the ball, got the sign, and he's going to go for it. And boy, that was high and tight, and he'll have a full count now at 3 balls, 2 strikes. Chad Ryan trying to avoid letting the base runner get on with 2 outs. And boy, you got a little help right there from the batter, Ellers, as he went up the ladder, and might have chased when it was out of the strike zone, but it stays at a full count, 3 balls, 2 strikes. Again, it's Perry, Pelkey, and Holtman, the outfield, in game number 1. And he got him. Struck out 2 this inning, 2 the last inning. He's up to 4, and we've got a 1-1 game going into the 3rd. Matt Sharon, top of the order, getting the second time here. And take a look at Greg Brandenburg, the pitcher, number 5 for Chester, and Sharon grounded out to the second baseman his first time up. Well, he went after that breaking ball and pulled it foul. Sharon very strong. He's about 6 foot, 5'11", 6 foot, but very solid, and he's got good power. The outfield shading just a tad bit toward that left field line, that third base line for him. So an 0-1 count after the foul ball, Brandenburg will come in, and he's had a lot of problem with that particular pitch today. Not getting it to where he's stuck with it, but he hasn't had it really working consistently for him. And with that miss there, he'll make it a 1-ball, 1-strike count. You're going to have Jeff McLaughlin on deck, then Chris Parker. And after that long first inning, or that extended first inning by both Chester and Rutland, the pitchers have really settled down. Took over that second inning. See if that carries off in here into the third inning. Yeah, and you can see the pitcher now, Brandenburg, wants to catch and fire. Boy, I came back with some high heat, and Sharon swung so hard he lost his balance, and it'll make it a 2-2 count. So after missing twice with breaking balls, he went to the heater, and it worked out for him pretty good. He'll look into Chico, get the sign. Chico will give location. There he goes. He flashed the glove inside, and that's where he went, and the ball stayed way outside. And again, as that pitch he's had trouble snapping off on today, and he goes to a full count now. Not really the guy you want to get on base here to start off an inning. Matt Sharon, like many of these players for Rutland, very good speed once he gets down to first base. So Brandenburg will come back, and he'll walk him. So post 31 in the top of the third will get the leadoff batter on, and that'll be interesting now to see what Coach Sorelli will have happen as far as turning them loose. It's 2 walks in the ball game, and they hit batter for Brandenburg, and it's going to bring the coach out, have a little chat with him. Now, he might have seen something in mechanics, or maybe in the where he shook off his catcher and didn't like some of the pitches, that selection that he was going with to throw. But in any event, that brought to me a surprise visit from the head coach out, and he was brief. Might have made his point. Now McLaughlin up. McLaughlin had a single. Remember, he had those 2 strikes on him. He kept wasting good pitches, falling off good pitches, until he finally got one. He drove it to center field. And that will just miss. Wow, be ball 1. Sharon being held on first base by Gurr, the first baseman for Chester post 67. They're out in the field on top of the third defensively. Rutland at the plate. Well, we got that up in the air, and it's going to be over the head of Ellers. And they're going to wave Sharon home as you can see him cut the bag, and he'll score the run. And in the background, there's McLaughlin. Well, actually, when I go to that angle, McLaughlin's in the foreground. Big poke, big powerful hit by McLaughlin as he got it to the gap, and that walk, well, really came back to bite him in the butt right there. And I meant to say it was Kevin Hill and Rebin on that side that were chasing the ball in the gap. Now Chris Parker up. So McLaughlin has driven in a run, and he has scored a run today. And like I said, big time player. And that pitch called a strike on the corner. And that'll put Brandenburg up in the count 0-1. On deck will be the catcher, Ryan Carter. Yeah, see Parker, that's taken a long time there to get situated as far as green on a sign from the catcher to the pitcher. And Parker asked for time, got it, stepped out of the box. And now he'll come to the plate, and that will sail on him. Again, well above the belt when it crossed the batter, and that'll make it a 1-1 count. McLaughlin getting a lot of signs down there at third base. That is post 31 team. They're very tricky on the bases. Don't ever get lulled to sleep just looking at the guys on second base. Not going to go anywhere. That looks to be playable. And it will be caught, and nowhere for the runner to advance. That's in very short center field, just a little bit behind the second base bag, so they'll get the out on the pop-up. So Parker will fly out. That's the first out of the inning. McLaughlin stays at second base. Now Ryan Carter up. He walked his first time up. Quistapese, the on-deck hitter. And Ryan Carter will take a look at the lefty for the second time as Brandenburg will get set in. Again, not getting that high strike call on some close pitches in this first 3 innings of work, and that'll be ball 1. You can see Chico hold it there, the catcher, just a little bit longer for the umpire to look at it, but I don't think you're going to see him change his mind on that. Now we'll get away from him and get out squared outside, and we'll go to 2 balls, no strikes. They're right at that portion of the order with Quistapase and Carter back to back. That make pitchers a little weak in the knees when they look at the lineup card. It's 2-1 Rutland. We're in the top of the third, scheduled for 7. Game number 1 of a doubleheader. And that's going to be past the catcher. That'll be a wild pitch. Now we'll allow McLaughlin to move it on down to third base. So after really cruising with 2 strikeouts and a ground out in that second inning, he had a 1-2-3 second inning, Brandenburg did. Struggling here in the third. So Carter, he'd love to get a pitch here he could at least try to swing on, and that'll be ball inside, ball 4. So he will get his second walk of the afternoon. Now Quistapase up. He reached on a fielder's choice. He's a DH in game number 1. Like I said, he pitched last night on the road, got the win 7-3 over Bellows Falls. He went 5 innings. And he hit the ball extremely hard his first time up. Just a great play at second base. That pitch high for a ball. Just a really good play down there by Dylan Davis. That saved that from being a single. And that pitch came in. And when it's high to a Quistapase, that's a high pitch. He's a big guy. 1 run in so far here in the third for Rutland. They have a base runner at first and third. They're going to throw down to first base, and Carter will be back safe. And Chico very experienced. You know, when you got a guy standing down there on third base, you best make sure that you and the first baseman, A, are on the same page and he knows the ball's coming, and B, you're pretty accurate with your throw. Oh, that's a nice pitch. Right there, that's the spot he wants. He wants to get inside low on a Quistapase and tie him up. Now let him get those big arms extended. So 2 balls, 1 strike. Very crucial pitch there, keeping it from going to 3-0. And from the windup, oh, he'll get strike 2, and there's the throw down, and there's the scoop, and there's the stolen base. And I like that whole setup today. Carter, what they're doing is they're letting him commit his move to first base, and they just have the intentions of going straight to second. So 2-2 count. Runners at second and third now for Quistapase, who's hit several monster home runs this year. And it's going to be a full count now as he turned away from it. It came in high near that left shoulder, and this is an awful spot for a pitcher. 3-2 count. You're thinking fastball as a hitter, or at least I would be. But you could be having room service right now if you give him that fastball over the plate. And, oh, he came back with the breaking ball, and Quistapase might have been fooled on it. In any event, he got struck out looking. That'll be the 3rd strikeout of the game for Brandenburg. And that was a big out. That's the 2nd out. Now Chad Ryan up. He grounded out to the shortstop, Dave O'Neill. So Ryan trying to help himself out here, and of course his team, and pick up these runs. He is the pitcher for Post 31. Been very blessed with tremendous speed, Chad Ryan has. He went after it and got it, and it looks like it's going to be... There it is. Third baseman will make the catch, and now Strand 2 in scoring position. 2-1 Rutland going into the bottom of the 3rd. Top of the Chester order, David O'Neill up. He walked and scored Chester's only run back in the 1st inning. And he'll duck down out of the way of a breaking ball that just didn't break anywhere. And he'll be up in the count as the hitter as 1 ball, no strikes. Ken Cook and then Greg Brandenburg on deck. So Cook and Brandenburg, as they're at the top of the order, 1, 2, 3 hitters here. And again, he showed bunt. You can see McLaughlin came charging hard from the corner, and that's just what you want to do. O'Neill, just like in softball, when he squares the bunt, he can also slap the ball. He can pull the bat back and on a choked up hold to be able to slap that in and swing, and it'll be low for a ball. See, Ryan kind of looked. He knew that was low, but he thought maybe he could get that his way. But it's 3 balls, no strikes now to the leadoff batter in the 3rd inning for Chester. And O'Neill will have his 2nd walk of the afternoon. Ken Cook up. He popped up to the 2nd baseman, Chris Parker. So he's 0 for 1 today. And don't forget, they get to the 4th spot. The cleanup hitter will be the catcher, Chris Chico. And Brewer came over to talk to Chad Ryan. maybe on getting situated here on a throw or a pickoff attempt. Any fact though is O'Neill's fast and he can go, and Carter will come up, he'll double pump, throw down, and he pumped once. He had to wait for Brewer to get in position to take the throw, and that'll be a ball, and the runner will be safe at first base. Excuse me, it'll be a strike, and the runner safe at first base. Oh, they got him in a pickle play. I missed it. Yep. O'Neill trying to get in the run down and stay alive, and he's going to do it. Not only that, he's going to get to second base because they threw the ball out of play. Now, that's what speed does. It makes people make mistakes. And then O'Neill, even after all that, he got the umpire's hat and handed it back. He's getting third base because it's a two-bag give on that ball out of play like that. So O'Neill, again, showing you why speed is more important than anything in sports nowadays. So that walk becomes a triple. And Ken Cook at the plate with a chance to get this game tied up now. Or actually a error, wild pitch, pass ball, deep enough pop fly. And that's going to do more than get it done, and that's going to be to the gap, hit the wall, take the bounce. We're going to be tied at 2, and he's going to pull up with a double, an RBI double. And I'll tell you what, Ken Cook hit that ball to the opposite field a mile. Now Vredenberg up. He had an RBI double his first time up. So Vredenberg and Chester getting things tied up here at 2-2. And Chad Ryan, like his counterpart, had a great second inning. Now they're struggling a little bit here. Both of them in third. And Cook, for a big guy, he's got some decent speed down at second base, so it's not unlikely that he could score on a single from second base. See, though, Chad Ryan's gone away from that fastball that he had so much luck with in that second inning, and he's been throwing a lot more breaking balls here this inning. There you go. Outside corner fastball swung on a miss. Strike 2, 1-2 the count. Okay, it's a swirling wind here in this first game. Vredenberg waited back long enough. Pelkey will make the catch, and he'll turn and he'll get the throw on the line. Missed the cutoff all the way to third base with it. And that will keep the runner Cook at second base, unable to move up on that fly out. Now Chris Chico up, the catcher for Post 67. Chester is the home team in this game, so they'll get the last at bats. Chico reached on a fielder's choice his first time up. 1 out, 1 on, 1 in. You're in the bottom of the third. Chad Ryan trying to minimize the damage here and keep it to 1 run, and that one dropped too soon, missed plate. It'll be called ball 1. So Rutland's defense still has Brewer at first base, Parker at second, Sharon at short, McLaughlin at third. And that could be, no, it's going to be out of play, definitely. Yeah, everybody after, but it ended up on River Street. So after all that running around, chasing it down, it's just a foul ball strike, and it's a 1-1 count. But I started to tell you, the outfield defensively, Jeff Perry in left field, Gary Pelkey in center, and John Holtman is in right field. Ryan Carter behind the plate. And it was Carter that asked for the time. He's got a strap problem on his helmet. You see him getting his equipment adjusted. And he's set, so we'll be good to go as we will have Chico step back in. Rebin is on deck for Chester. And that's right off the fist. I don't see, again, I lost the ball again. Twice in one game. Brewer made the catch. And I tell you, I can't apologize for that enough, but it's awful. This middle-aged that's crept up on me. Oh. So there's 2 outs, even though you didn't see it. Now Rebin struck out looking at strike 3 his first time up. 4 strikeouts in the game to this point for Chad Ryan, the post 31 pitcher. And again, been very consistent with the low strike calls today. And he'll get the call right there at the knee for strike 1. And that's going to be the shortstop, Matt Sharon, with the scoop to set the throw, and they got him They'll tie it up at 2. We'll go to the 4th inning in this post-31 baseball game. Greg Vredenberg gets set to start his 4th inning of work. He's going to be looking at Garrett Brewer, who he struck out back in the 2nd inning. That first pitch, be curveball foul down the third baseline for a strike. Now Brewer and then Pelkey and Perry do up. And we'll see which Vredenberg comes out here, the one that struggled in the 1st inning or the one that cruised through the 2nd inning, as he's kind of gone hot and cold from inning to inning. He's got a 0-1 count right now on Garrett Brewer, and the pitch coming as the lefty will fire away. And again, he's having a lot of problem with that particular pitch right there today, especially to the right-handed hitters. But tell you right now, you got to get out and support this American Legion baseball team in person. Get down to St. Peter's Field and catch a game live. And that's going to be foul ball. It's a good job by Brewer fighting that off with that 1-2 count. No, you can come here, watch the game live in the afternoon, then go get something to eat and have supper, and then watch it again on Channel 15. You get a 2 for 1. As Vredenberg will strike him out for the 2nd time today, and it was the curveball that struck him out the first time. This time he throws him the fastball and just gets it by him, and he could have him thinking about the last at bat actually. Now Pelkey up, he struck out in the 2nd inning also. Pelkey, the starting center fielder. Again, this is the first game of a doubleheader. You'll see game number 2 at a later date on Channel 15. And that's popped up, and that's deep, and that's got some breeze, and that's going to hit the base of the wall. And Pelkey, he's going to get a break here. Yeah, the ball hit the wall and rolled away from the center fielder. You see the throw coming into the foreground, and he'll be in there, and he's going to be out. Oh, he's good play. He kept running, stayed alive. He's avoiding the tag, and he's just trying to stay alive right now. And he's going to do more than stay alive. He'll get back. That is one of the most heads-up play I've ever seen in my life at any level. The first thing he did wrong was didn't slide into second base. He overran the bag, but he never stopped. He saw the guy standing there with the ball afterwards, and he just kept going to home base. He got himself in a rundown situation, and we see the rundowns haven't worked out well today for either team. Now, if I was Pelkey, I'd need oxygen and maybe some potassium right now, but he's just caught his breath, and he's set to go. So a triple for Gary Pelkey. And again, he didn't miss a home run by very, very much. It hit the base of the wall. So a 1 out and a runner in scoring position for Jeff Perry, who grounded out to the shortstop, Dave O'Neill. And is only at bat, getting a second look at Vredenberg here. I'll tell you, the ball hit the base of the wall so hard that it kicked back in past the center fielder, and that's what allowed Pelkey to go to third base. Well, I pulled the string on that breaking ball and wound Perry up, and he swung through it for a strike. Again, this is in the 4th inning. We're scheduled for 7. Tight like I thought it would be. It's 2-2. There's the two teams battling here, both in very serious playoff contention. And again, a swing and a miss on that breaking ball makes it 1 ball, 2 strikes. With Pelkey down at third base for Rutland Post 31. We're in the top of the 4th. And he got him all great pitch to that right-handed hitter, and that's the one he's been having trouble with today, and that time he got it to work. So he's got 2 strikeouts this inning for the 2 outs. Now top of the order, Matt Sharon up. He's grounded out to the shortstop, walked, and scored the game's 2nd run. Now too, and you got to remember, Sharon, good speed. You look down at the corner, and they're playing way back off the bag at third base. I mean, it's not an impossible thing if you lay down the bunt here. He didn't show it there, and you watch that pitch fly out of the strike zone for ball 1. So Rutland trying not to waste that 1-out triple by Pelkey. You'll look in, get the sign, and that's going to be toward the hole at short. That's an RBI. There's the run. 3-2. Pelkey will score. Sharon will be over at first base. So he's scored a run today, Matt has, and he's driven in a run. And again, usual day for Sharon. Real productive. Now McLaughlin up. And McLaughlin himself having a big day as he scored a run in the 1st inning after he singled, and then he drove in a run with a double in the third. So he's a 2-for-2 guy, and he scored 2 runs, or he's accounted for 2 of the runs. Right off the fist towards shortstop. O'Neill will stay down on the ball, make the throw, and got him. But Rutland will retake the lead, 3-2, going into the bottom of the 4th over Chester. Chester with a pinch hitter to start off the bottom of the 4th. We're going to have Zach Smith at the plate, batting for the center fielder, Kevin Hill. And Chad Ryan. And Rutland with that lead, and that ball will miss for ball 1 on the first pitch. And again, that outfield still has in it Jeff Perry, Gary Pelkey, John Holtman. Ryan Carter's behind the plate. The pitcher's Chad Ryan, and boy, did he get around on that and pull it, and that's going to be a fair ball, and it's going to roll and go out of play. I think that, yeah, see him holding his hands up, that's a ground rule double. I'll tell you what a quick pair of hands through the strike zone by Zach Smith right there. And he'll get things started in a big-time way in the bottom of the 4th with a double, leadoff double. Now there's a little gap. We're going to have John Durgan now. So Johnny Durgan will get up to hit for Chester Post 67 as they're going to their bench here in the 4th inning. Now there's a little gap of about 3.5 feet between the chain link fence and the end of the wall. That's so you can get around to come to the rest of the field area, the bleacher area. And then when a ball rolls there, that's out of play in the ground rule double. Just like at any point in the fence, outfield fence, if the ball goes underneath the fence, it's a ground rule double. They're going to go to third base, and this is a tag play. Yeah, you know what McLaughlin did? That was so smart. See how he had 2 hands on the glove and the ball so that the ball wouldn't become dislodged on the slide, and they erase big time that leadoff double as he's trying to go to third base, and that's a fielder's choice for Durgan. So that is a force out, 1-5. All right.
Number 31, Tom Lawson.
Now Tom Lawson up, so they keep going to the bench. Lawson, the 3rd pinch hitter in a row here for Chester Post 67 at the plate in the bottom of the 4th in a 3-2 game. Rutland with the lead. It's gone each time one team scored, the other one's responded, and every time one team's been shut out, and then the other team has been shut out also. So they're just kind of mirroring each other's efforts here today. 1 out, 1 on, 1-1 the count. Chad Ryan, they'd love to get all 7 innings out of Chad today. Now that's going to be a second base hit off the bench. And how big was that, getting a runner out at third base now? And the out at third base was just a base running mistake, actually. I mean, he's got to make sure that the pitcher is going to make the play to first base before he releases and goes to third base. Now Kyle Eller's up. He took third strike looking back in the 2nd inning. That was his only time up, but he's got 1 down, and table set with runners at 1st and 2nd. And that is a great pitch. And that has been very consistently called a strike today. It's been a very good strike zone, I think, today. Very, very consistent. Top of the order is O'Neill sitting on deck. Neither team has turned a double play yet today. Rutland has this, I don't have an official stat, but it seems like every game they at least have 1 double play. Chad Ryan missed high coming in just above the belt. So 2 balls and 1 strike here in the bottom of the 4th to Chester's Kyle Ellers. And that could be double play. There's 1. Parker to first. Nope. Yes, he went up and got it. Oh, the big guy Brewer went up and snagged it, and just when they needed it the most, because they didn't want O'Neill to come up with the bases loaded, they'll get the double play to end the inning and end the threat. There were a couple of hits that inning, but nobody crossed the plate, and it's going to stay 3-2 Rutland going into the 5th. Got a defensive change for Post 67. Chester's brought John Durgan in to play second base. Remember, he was a pinch hitter last inning. And Chris Parker will lead things off for Rutland. As we're in the 5th inning of a scheduled doubleheader, game number 1. And it's been what you expect between the top 2 teams so far in the South. And, of course, that standings could juggle tremendously after today. And Parker will follow that one back into the screen out of play for a 1-1 count. Rutland able to get a run in the 1st inning, a run in the 3rd, and a run in the 4th. They've done it all by single runs so far today. The 2nd inning, the pitcher for Chester, Greg Brandenburg, enjoyed a 1-2-3 inning, and Parker, did he get hit? He Yeah, he's going down to first base. There was no indication. Usually umpire points, but Parker hit by a pitch, and he will be at first base. That is the second batter hit by a pitch. It was Parker back in the first inning, got hit by a pitch. Now Carter up. As they're at that portion of the order now where they bring the big bats up, Carter and Aquistapace back to back. Carter's walked twice today. And you know what? The umpire just pointed to the field umpire. He asked, I believe, I'm just conjecturing here, the head coach for Chester came out, want to know, if he was hit by a pitch, why didn't the home base umpire call it? And he's pointed to the man in the field and said he called it. I think that's what they said. And that'll be outside for a ball. And Parker pretty good as far as being able to run those bases to get a good lead into the steal going here. And Carter at the plate. It's whacked twice, and there's the thrower to first. And Parker will go back head first and dive in there and get all dirty, so it looks good in the dugout. So Rutland looking to get another run here as they've been able to score 3 of the 4 innings prior to this as a swing and a miss and a strike called. And Carter, both times that he's walked, he was a force out at second base the next play, and he got stranded at second his last time up, and they're going to say he went, yeah, he did. Couldn't hold up on that breaking ball, and he went and committed, and that's going to be strike 2. So 1 ball, 2 strikes. It's Greg Vredenberg on the mound. Chris Chico is the catcher. Tom Gura is at first. John Durgan's at second. Dave O'Neill's at short, and Kevin Cook is at third. That's the defensive alignment for Chester on the infield. And again, Carter, quick hands for a big guy. Got a real quick bat. He fouled off that 2-strike pitch, and it was a good pitch by Vredenberg too. There was another defensive change. Zach Smith came in to play center field. So he pinch hit, but he stayed in there also, and I just noticed that when I looked down there. So Smith is the center fielder now for Chester Post 67. Good eye by Carter. That pitch came in low, and he was able to watch it in, make it a 2-2 count. At this particular inning of the ball game, the wind is blowing out to left field. Like I said, it's been changing throughout the contest. Yeah. Carter asked for time at the last moment. It's taken a long time. You see Chico, the catcher, getting that stand-up position that a lot of catchers do now. I never personally liked that. I think it blocks the umpire's view of the ball in the strike zone, but also it gives you the heads-up impression that the pitch is high, not in the strike zone, even if it isn't. They'll throw over to first base, and Parker back very easily ahead of the throw. So a 2-2 count, and he's had a little time to think now about what he wants to throw to Carter. And that was high, and he's worked all the way back to a full count now. And Zach Aquistapace, the DH for game number 1, hitting for John Holtman. He's on deck for post 31. Got him on the breaking ball. That's a big-time pitch to throw with a 3-2 count. And all of a sudden, the strikeouts, there's 1 this inning, 2, 3, 4 strikeouts, 5, 6. 6 strikeouts so far in the ballgame for Greg Vredenberg. Now Aquistapace up. He had struck out looking his last time up. Prior to that, he reached on a fielder's choice in the first inning. And that one just too low. Couldn't get the call on that one, as it was that shin high. And that'll be a ball 1. Again, the runner down at first base, being held on down there defensively by Gura. Aquistapace. And he's going to be caught this time, and that's going to be, I had to wait and see, that's going to be the center fielder. That's Kevin Hill, who was the center fielder. He's now been pushed over to right field. And I was just trying to get my changes. Usually the PA announcer announces the changes, but she didn't do that on these defensive changes. Now Chad Ryan up. He's grounded out to the shortstop and popped out to third base. So Chris Parker was hit by a pitch to start this inning off, still at first base. They've been unable to move him along here. And that's going to be foul. Cook right there, number 10, but he was hugging that line pretty tight. Now just waiting for the umpire to bark it out, and he called it a foul ball So it'll be a strike, and Parker will go back to first base. On deck, if Ryan can extend this, will be Garrett Brewer. So Chad Ryan back in the box, all set to go. 3-2 Rutland in the top of the 5th over Chester. That's going to be the shortstop, O'Neill, and that's it. They'll strand the runner, and that hit batter didn't get them any runs, and they'll stay 3-2 Rutland going into the bottom of the 5th. Well, not a bad spot for the road team. Well, Chester's the home team in this game, but they had to travel to get here. That's what I meant by road team. They're down just 1 run going into the bottom of the 5th, and they're top of the order, Dave O'Neill up. And he'll follow that pitch off for strike 1. Chad Ryan's still on the mound. O'Neill today has walked twice and scored a run. Ken Cook and then Greg Vredenberg due up here. The 3 batters due up for post 67. The rains played havoc with everybody's schedule this week, but Chester hasn't played since, I believe it was Tuesday, they told me, when they lost in a game that lasted 1 hour and 10 minutes, a 7-inning game. They lost to Brattleboro. In a game that featured a combination of 5 hits. That's fouled off for strike 2. So Chad Ryan able to get up in the count for the first time today on O'Neill. 1 ball, 2 strikes. But O'Neill very, very good with the 2 strikes on him. He usually can make the pitcher work. So a 1-2 count, and the pitch coming to O'Neill. Oh, and he's going to go to the opposite field, and it's going to drop in, and nice job by Holtman getting there and cutting it off. Now, Holtman won't get enough credit for that, but he got there and kept that from being a double. So a nice job by Johnny Holtman. So O'Neill with 2 walks and a single, and he was down 1-2 in the count, and that pitch was low and outside. It was a good pitch by Ryan. But O'Neill went down and went to the opposite field with it, and now Ken Cook up. He had an RBI double his last time up, which was in the 3rd inning. Tying run at first base, and there he goes in the throw down. I'll tell you what, O'Neill hit the bag hard with his lead hand, but he seems to be all right. And O'Neill, by far, I've watched him play for years for the Rutland County Royals and for Black River. He is the catalyst. As his team down a run, he got the base hit with 2 strikes on him. He stole second base, put himself in scoring position, and don't be surprised if pretty soon he ends up at third base without a base hit. 1-1 the count. 3-2 the score. Rutland with the lead. Chester's had a run in the 1st and a run in the 3rd. Nah, it's going to be a foul ball down the third baseline. He got around on it, bowled it, but foul. That'll be 2 strikes now in the count. Greg Vredenberg on deck. And they're at the order, part of the order, the number 2 hitter Cook and the number 3 hitter Vredenberg. They each have an RBI apiece, which is the total amount of RBIs today by Chester. And that's going to be through the hole. Yep. And they're going to send O'Neill around, and he's going to tie the game up. Yep. 2nd RBI of the game for Cook. And we're going to be tied at 3. So Cook today with a double and a single and 2 RBIs. Now Vredenberg up. He had an RBI double back in the 1st inning. He popped up to the center fielder, Gary Pelkey, his last time up. And of course, he'll step in there from the left side, and they're going to hold the runner on at first base with Brewer. So there is a little bit of a bigger hole if he can pull the ball. That's why you're going to see that right there. Ryan stayed with the fastball on the outside corner, not trying to let him get around to pull that ball. Now, bottom of the 5th, it's a 3-3 game. And that had some nasty motion on that pitch as it cut down and away from the lefty. Now, to be hypothetical, and I love doing that. Now, Chester comes up with a sweep here today. Whoa, has that changed the complexion of everything in the standings and the doubleheader tomorrow for Rutland, who's on the road against Brattleboro. But there's a lot of baseball left to be played today. There goes the runner. That's a good pitch to throw down on, and oh my goodness, it sailed out and be backed up nicely by Pelkey. That one just sailed out of Carter's hand. He was in the up position coming up to get the high pitch. That's why I thought it'd be a good pitch for him to throw on. It was a fastball, so he got to the plate quick. So Cook will be at second base now. He represents the go-ahead run in the bottom of the 5th. The count goes to 3 balls and 1 strike to Vredenberg, and Chris Chico is the on-deck hitter for Chester. He got around and pulled that. Holtman. Holtman will make the catch, set his feet, and then made the throw to third base. Nice back over there by Ryan to McLaughlin. And I'm not sure why they didn't bring it in the cutoff, but they didn't get hurt by it, and that runner will stay at second base. Now Chico up. He's reached on a fielder's choice in the first, and he popped up to the first baseman, Garrett Brewer. I think that's one of those plays that I missed the pop-up on. So you might not recall that pop-up catch by Brewer. Chester with a chance to take the lead here. Like I said, Cook with good enough speed where on a single he might be able to score on it, and that'll be pulled foul. So that was quite a sting on the ball, and he pulled it too far, and it's going to be a foul ball strike, and we'll be at a 0-1 count. Chad Ryan had 2 strikeouts in the first inning, 2 in the second, and hasn't recorded a strikeout since that point. And that'll be a foul ball. That was a dead ball. Yeah, you can see him point that it was in the batter's box. So the umpire is going to do a little house cleaning. He'll sweep the plate off, and I'll be able to set that outfield for you defensively. Jeff Perry's in left field. Gary Pelkey's in center. John Holtman's in right. Ryan Carter is your catcher. First base is Garrett Brewer. Chris Parker is at second. Matt Sharon's at short. And Jeff McLaughlin is over there at third base. Oh, he got him to go after a pitch out of the strike zone. The runner does advance down to third base. They want him to throw to first base, and there. They're saying it was a drop third strike. You see Carter contending that he's saying it wasn't, but they ended up getting the out the long distance way, and that's going to be a phone right in the book. It says I went 2-1-3. 2 down now, runner at third, and Ian Rebin up. He struck out looking at strike 3 in the first inning, then he grounded out to Matt Sharon at short. And Chad Ryan trying to keep that runner from scoring at third base. And that's going to be McLaughlin with a great play, the long throw, and he got a McLaughlin with a big-time play over at third base. Oh, yeah, some high fives for Jeff. We're tied at 3 going into the 6th. We're getting later in the ballgame. We're in the 6th inning. Garrett Brewer, Gary Pelkey, and Jeff Perry do up. Now, Brewer, who came in this game batting extremely well, has struck out twice. He's had a problem with that breaking ball. As you can see right there, he fouled that off for a strike. But it's the breaking ball that set up the strikeout last time as he swung on a fastball and missed for strike 3. And again, the pitchers have had times at this game where they've just looked really well. There's been some great defensive plays and some big hits. Everything you have in Legion baseball action, and that's going to be a base hit for Brewer. It'll be picked up by Rebin in left field, and Brewer will get the leadoff single here to start off the 6th.
Number 18, Gary Pelkey.
Now Pelkey had a triple his last time up. I didn't know if they might go courtesy runner for Brewer over at first base, but so far nothing announced. And he is going to stay over at first base. So Pelkey, who tripled and scored in the 4th, he struck out in the first at bat, but he had a monster hit. That looks to be on a playable ball. And nope, it got between 3 of them. And Brewer's going to be out at second base. Yeah. That, tell you what, that was just a tough play for Brewer. Yeah. It was not an easy call at all, because it did look like they might catch it. So they end up with Brewer out. Let's see, it went 9-4 out. Now Perry up. He's grounded out to the shortstop, Dave O'Neill, and then he struck out his last time up. It's kind of a weird play because, again, it was a ball that he really had to wait on because it looked like it was going to be caught. That pitch called a strike, 0-1. 3-3 the score. We're on the top of the 6th, scheduled for 7, but we could play some extra innings. And again, big game for both teams. This is a doubleheader, first game of the doubleheader. Perry again fooled on the breaking ball, swinging over the top of it for a strike. And it quickly goes to no balls, 2 strikes. Chris Chico is the catcher out there for post 67. Tom Gurr is at first base. John Durgan's at second base. Dave O'Neill is your shortstop, and Ken Cook is defensively out there on third base. Greg Vandenberg is the pitcher. And again, they did the same deal where they just went, they got him. That time they snapped the throw off and they erased that base runner, so all of a sudden there's 2 down. And nobody on for Jeff Perry. Top of the order, Matt Sharon is on deck. Coach Sorelli saying he blocked, he wasn't even on the rubber. Now you won't see Coach Sorelli ever question. I mean, he probably does this twice a season at all, so he's got to have either a real good, strong feeling on that, or he's got a good view of what was going on. But he showed him a mark where the cleat was. But that's going to go Chester's way, and he'll have 2 down, nobody on. And Jeff Perry with an 0-2 count. And Brandenburg looking to face just 3 hitters. And he does. Perry will go down looking at strike 3, and we'll go into the bottom of the 6th. 3-3, Chester and Rutland. And Zach Smith will... Well, actually, I don't have that in my book at that position, but it's irrelevant. They're going to throw down to first base, get the out. So they retire Smith on 1 pitch, and that's 1 out here in the 6th inning, bottom of the 6th. Yeah, I don't know how they got that far down or how I got that bad in my book, but it happens. Now Durgan up, and that's going to be caught in the outfield by Perry. Boy, quick work here by Chad Ryan. He's got 2 outs very quickly in the bottom of the 6th. I'm just waiting for an announce who. Tom Lawson up, yeah, okay. Somewhere I missed a batter. But I'm back on track. 2 down, nobody on base. In the bottom of the 6th, tied at 3. Going to go at least 7, and that's going to be a bunt that he didn't get the bat on. And it was a strike anyways at the knee, and it's going to be called an 0-1 count. Chester scoring 1 run in the 1st, 1 in the 3rd, 1 in the 5th. And every time they've scored, actually this goes for each team actually, when they've scored runs, they've had the opportunity to get multiple runs because they've had people in scoring position with less than 2 down, but it's been a single run at a time for everybody today. Oh, he got him, and that's the inning. Chad Ryan with a big bender that fooled the batter. We're going to go to the 7th, tied at 3. Top of the 7th. And top of the order up, Matt Sharon up for Rutland Post 31, and they're looking at Greg Vandenberg on the mound. And again, I guess if you're going to be in a tight ball game, this is where you want to be. That's going to be the 3rd base. Cook with the throw, and you'll have them. So they're very tough out here. They'll get Sharon out on that little dinker down to 3rd base. Now Jeff McLaughlin up. He has singled and doubled. He scored a run and driven in a run. His last time up, though, he grounded out to the shortstop, Dave O'Neill. And Brandenburg trying to get this thing to the bottom of the 7th in a tie and give his team a chance to just need the 1 run to win. And the game actually has had a good pace to it. There's been a couple extended innings per pitcher, but other than that, it's been relatively a good pace game. I knew it was going to be a good doubleheader anyways. These are 2 good teams. That's a lot of goods in a sentence. Good eye right there. 2 balls, no strikes. McLaughlin in that number 2 spot today. And has he delivered or what? He's delivered big time. He's worked the count now completely in his favor. 3 balls, no strikes. And I love this part of the count because you don't have to swing if it's not a good pitch, but you got to be expecting fastball down the middle of the plate. And he got the fastball, but it sailed away. And McLaughlin on 4 straight pitches will be down at first base with what could be the go-ahead run. Well, actually it would be the go-ahead run if he scored. Chris Parker up. He's been hit by a pitch twice today, and in between all that getting hit by pitches, he popped up to the 2nd baseman. So Rutland now trying to get something started with 1 down. And I believe that's going to be out of play. Chico, they didn't go out of play, but Chico might have been bothered by Lawson, his teammate right there. That could be what they were talking about right there. You see Chico pulled off the ball. That's going to be a tough play with the wind anyways, but it's a break for Rutland because it goes as just a foul ball strike and Parker's still alive and just an 0-1 count. So a lot of things happened for an 0-1 count on that particular play. The on-deck hitter is the cleanup batter, Ryan Carter. McLaughlin being held on by Lawson down at first base, got a very conservative lead, and now he'll go back and retag the bag after you could see the pitcher, Brandenburg there, did little, stepped off the rubber and looked at first base. He'll come to the plate now, and that's going to be a tough play. They got one play, it's at first, and they're going to get him. McLaughlin will go down to second base. There he is. He represents the go-ahead run with 2 down, though, now. He is at second base. And Ryan Carter, he's walked twice and struck out. So he's officially 0 for 1 today. Pace is on deck, but Carter with a chance. Now, McLaughlin's got a good enough speed, good set of wheels there, where Carter, with any type of single, could score McLaughlin easily from second base. Carter could also leave the yard and make it an easy thing here. Oh, and that did not hit Ryan, and that will send McLaughlin down to third base. So now the go-ahead run at third base, and again, a lot more pressure now. As far as, I don't think it really takes away a pitch, but you've seen Brandenburg have a little problem. Now, they're going to talk. I thought it might have hit Carter. And I can't imagine what they're talking about. But whatever it was quick and to the point, and they agreed on it. And the situation will stay the same. Runner at third, 2 down. That was a ball. Oh, I'm sorry to say, you got to remember now, with the runner at third base, he might not be so apt to throw that particular curveball because he doesn't want it to have the same results. A wild pitch or a ball get away from the catcher and have to go ahead and run score in the 7th on that, and that hit Carter, no doubt about it. And see Carter upset because he wanted to swing the bat. Yeah, he wanted to swing the bat, and that's why at first I really thought he got hit on the foot by the first wild pitch. And he just wouldn't give in on it if they didn't call it because he wanted to swing the bat. But that's pure speculation on my part. Now we're going to have a little chat between Cook and Brandenburg and Chico. But Pace is up, and we're going to have a pinch runner, courtesy runner. Mike Sorelli is going to be the courtesy runner for Ryan Carter. And again, they just want that little bit of extra speed to avoid not so much scoring from first base, but they don't want to get a force out at second base on a ground ball hit, and that would end the inning. Any little advantage you can get. Don't forget, it's the big run. It's McLaughlin's down at third base. Pace hit the ball real hard up the middle of the first inning. It was a great play by then Dylan Davis, who was a second baseman, that smothered it and didn't allow the base hit. Pace after that, I lost you, Zach. He struck out and flied out. So Sorelli on as a courtesy runner for Carter at first base, and then McLaughlin down at third base. 2 down, though, in the top of the 7th of a 3-3 game. And Pace awaiting Brandenburg's pitch here. He'll move to the outside corner, and, oh, I'll tell you, he put that right in his power zone. He put that in his power zone, and that's going to score at least 2. Here comes Pace, and it's gone. It's a home run. I lose the ball down there in that corner, but Zach, again, that ball was right out over the outside corner where he could extend those big, strong arms, and he just drove it over the extension where the fence steps out, and man, oh man, you couldn't ask for a bigger time to hit a home run than in the top of the 7th of a tie ball game against the number 2 team in the southern part of the state. And Pace just keeps tattooing the ball all year with another big hit. Drives in 3 runs and makes it 6-3 Rutland. I knew he had hit it deep, and I didn't hear the wall rattle around where he hit the wall, but I can't see around the window jam. And it wasn't until he shifted gears going around first base in the home run trot that I realized he'd done it again. Oh, he threw that right into Ryan's rib cage. Now, I'm not saying he did that on purpose, but that's 2 hit batters, Carter and Chad Ryan, and I don't know. I should just leave it there, I guess. So 3 runs on a 3-run homer by Quisty Pace and Ryan down at first base. Still 2 down. Now Garrett Brewer up. Well, Quisty Pace has just been hitting a ball like that right from the first game of Legion season through. It's just been lethal. Yeah, they're letting Chad Ryan walk around down there. He's a skinny guy, and he took a pretty good fastball right in the bony part of his rib cage. So 6-3 Rutland. The first inning where either team scored more than 1 run. Good pitch, and Brewer will swing over the top of that breaking ball for strike 1. I said he's 1 for 3 today. He has struck out twice, and he's singled. So Vredenberg's gone all 7 innings to this point. And Chad Ryan, barring that hit pitch doesn't stop him from pitching the 7th, will go into the bottom of the 7th with a chance to get the win for Rutland. Like I said, Rutland with 4 games this weekend. These 2 here, and that looks to be playable. He'll settle underneath it, make the catch, and Chester needing 3 to tie it, 4 to win it. 6-3 Rutland going into the 7th. Number 9 hitter Kyle Eller's up, and then top of the order Dave O'Neill and Ken Cook. So Chad Ryan able to come back out and answer the bell here in the bottom of the 7th, and that's going to be a fly ball to Gary Pelkey, and he looks to have a pretty good beat on it. He'll make the catch. 1 pitch, 1 out. And Rutland with that 3-run lead, looking to take game 1 of a doubleheader against Chester. O'Neill up. You know, what a pain he's been today. He's walked twice, singled once. He scored 2 runs. And again, he's coming up with nobody on base and 1 out right now. They're in tight at the corner at third base. McLaughlin is. And O'Neill will watch that one go down low for ball 1. Chester limited to 1 run in the first, 1 in the third, 1 in the 5th. So if you go by odd number scenario, they're due for a run here in the 7th. And that's going to be over the top of Pelkey. And O'Neill's going to have at least a double. And again, just a great ball player to have on your team. And he shows you when they need the big hit or the big play defensively, he delivers. This is the portion of the lineup anyways that has produced the runs and the RBIs and the base hits right here. So, you know, a lot of baseball left. 1 out here. They're only down 3. They've got O'Neill at second, Cook at the plate. And I do believe he held his swing up. Yeah, and they appeal it, and they say he did hold his swing up. So Chester trying to make a little rally here in the 7th and at least get it tied up. That's going to be ball 2. Chad Ryan, I'd love to get all 7 innings out of Chad Ryan, considering they have 4 ball games in 2 days. And that will bring a visit to the mound. That looks like Big Jeff. Yeah, Jeff's going to come out and talk to Chad Ryan. I don't believe Chad's ran out of gas at all. I think he's talking more about sequencing of pitches, focusing on this and that, and get the mechanics down, and let's get out of this game and get a new tape in the camera and get set for the next game. And that outfield playing exceptionally deep for Cook. I did want to mention that. Hey, just want to remind you again to watch Sports Beat. It's on Mondays at 4:30, Tuesdays at 5:30, and Thursday nights at 9 p.m. So the meeting over, and Carter will go back behind the plate. Ryan will get on the rubber, and we'll be good to go. And Ken Cook will step in here. And Cook today has had 2 RBIs himself. He's had a double and a single, and he's also popped out to the second baseman, Chris Parker. And that one's right there. Fastball this time to start the thing off with. And he'll go to the stretch with the runner at second base. And that's strike 2. So whatever the visit was, it was effective on the first 2 pitches he threw immediately after the meeting with Jeff Brewer. And that's going to hit down to McLaughlin. See him look the runner back to second. There's a throw, and there's the second out. And O'Neill will have to stay at second base. So he went fastball, curveball, and got him. Now Vredenberg up. He had a double in the first inning, which led to the game's first run for Chester. He drove in O'Neill. Then he's flying out to center field, and he's flying out to right field. So he's flying out to Pelkey and to Holtman. 2 down in a 6-3 game in the bottom of the 7th. Rutland looking to get the win here. A full 7 innings of work from Chad Ryan. and take game 1 of a doubleheader against Chester post 67. And I don't think he held up. See if they appeal it or... No, they don't even ask the umpire there. Nope. So they're going to go with the 2-ball, no strike count. And the highlight of the game so far, the 3-run homer in the top of the 7th by Zach Equistapace. That was a great pitch. That tickled that outside corner. He needed that pitch too. In that part of the count, it was 2 balls, no strikes. That would have made it 3-0. Now he's come back to a 2-1 count. And Chad Ryan, not after a rough first inning. He had about a 3 or 4 batter stint in the first inning. Then he settled down pretty good, and I thought he's been real solid here against a very good ball club. He's 1 strike away from ending this game. It's a 2-2 count, and the pitch. That's going to be out of play. McLaughlin. Don't. I had to wait, make sure Jeff wasn't going to do something miraculous there, but he had to let it go. It's falling out of play. Just stays with a 2-2 count now. Oh, you never know with Jeff McLaughlin. He's going to pull out of his hat on those. But that one was out of his reach, out of play. So it stays 2-2 the count. 2 down, runner at second, and the pitch got out of the hand, slipped out of the hand of Chad Ryan, and that'll make it a full count. Well, he elected breaking ball with a 2-2 count. Full count, you've got to be thinking fastball. And he'll walk him. That'll bring the tying run to the plate in Chris Chico. So a double and a walk have kept Chester's chances alive here, and Chico coming to the plate. He's the cleanup batter. He's reached on a fielder's choice. He's flied out to Garrett Brewer at first, and he struck out in the 5th. So Chester, 2 down, trying to make their own little rally here, like Rutland did in the top of the inning. That'll be too far outside. The on-deck hitter, in case Chico should extend this, is going to be Ian Rebin. So 1 ball, no strikes, and that's going to be down to McLaughlin. All he's got to do is just touch the runner, and there it is. That's the ball game. McLaughlin will tag O'Neill, and that's going to be a 6-3 Rutland win. Chad Ryan will get the complete game victory, and Zach Equistapace will have the winning run. It was a 3-run homer to one of the deepest parts of the field, and Rutland will take game 1. Congratulations to Post 31. Good effort by Chester. Hope you enjoyed this American Legion baseball action brought to you on PEGTV by Munger Vision. And get out there and support Legion Baseball.